Okay, today we will try another question, which is best time to buy and sell the stock. And this is one of the lead code questions. So the question is, let me put the lead code. So this is the question that we have. And the question is, let me put this question here. So this is the question from lead code, and the question is question number 121. So let me put this question number as well. And the question is that we have to find best time to buy and sell the stock. And let's use one example which they have given. So this is the example that is provided, right? So now in this example, what we have, a best time to buy the stock is 1, and the best time to sell the stock is 6, because if we buy a stock at day 1, which is at price number 7, and if we sell at the second, it will be negative, we'll be in loss. If we buy it in 1 and we will sell it at this day, which is third day, it will be a profit of 4. But the maximum profit that we will get is when we buy at least price, which is 1, and we sell at the maximum price, which is 6, right? So this program basically tells us at what time, or based on the array, it tells us what time we should buy the stock and what time we should sell the stock to get the maximum profit. This is the main goal of this program. So let's understand. Let me put this here. Okay, let me put like this. So we have 7, 1, 5, 3, 6, 4. So this is the array that we have, and we have to find what time we should buy and what time we should sell the stock, right? So the best way to do it is, which I can think of, is to have 2 pointers here. Let's take 2 pointers, and let's say least element and let's say greatest element initially, right? So we have these 2 pointers where we have least element and greatest element, and obviously we have to find the difference. So greatest element minus least element initially is 0, right? Because it is at the same point. Now what we do is we increment this. So let's increment the greatest element here. Okay. Now we see, and let's make it equal to temporary sum or temporary diff. Okay, so this is the temporary difference. So initially temporary difference is 0. When it is 0, we move greatest element pointer. Okay, so now it is in negative. It's 1 minus 7, which is minus 6. So temporary difference is less than 0. Whenever temporary difference is less than 0, we move this least element pointer also, because anyways it doesn't make sense, right? So we move it here. Okay, now it again comes to this point and it is equals to 0. So we move the greatest pointer here, greatest element here. Okay, now in this case it is 5 minus 1, which is 4. So temporary difference is equals to 4. Okay, but we don't know if this is the greatest difference. So what we do is we take greatest difference as a variable, and what we do is initially this is equals to 0. Okay, let's put it equals to 0, and whenever we find temporary difference greater than greatest difference, we just store the greatest difference whatever value we have. So as of now, let's put greatest difference as 4. Okay, so as of now we think that this is the greatest difference. okay, and then we keep on moving this index, but we need to store the index of this because we don't know, maybe this is the result. So how do we store the index? Or maybe we don't need to store the index because we just need to give the greatest difference, right? So let's make it 4 only, and now we increase this, okay. We come to here again, the temporary difference comes out to be 2, but it is not greater than greater difference, okay. So we don't do the swapping, we just move on. So we come here, now it comes out to be 5 because 6 minus 1 is 5, right? And we know temporary difference is greater than greater difference because 5 is greater than 4. So now greatest difference is equals to 5, okay. And now we move on here, okay, and we see 1 minus 4 is 3, but this is not greater than greatest difference, and we have reached the end, which is array dot length, right? So we halt the program and we return this as answer. So this algorithm should work to solve this question, and this is an easy level question. So let's try to solve it. So we will make a function which is public static. Let's make it initially void, and let's give the name best stock profit best stock profit, okay. Let's give this name, we have an array, okay. So now what we have to do, we have to take 2 pointers, okay. So let's make greatest element, or maybe say trailer equals to 0, int starter equals to 0, int temporary difference is equals to 0, and then we have int max difference that is also equals to 0. So we have taken these 4 variables. Now what we have to do is we have to calculate, so we have to run this, right? So we'll take a while loop. In the while loop, what we'll do, we have to make sure that this greatest element, which is trailer in this case, in our case, reaches till the end, right? So we'll say while trailer is less than arr dot length, and what we'll do, we'll say starter is less than equals to trailer, because we don't want this 2 pointer to cross each other. So this will always be either less than this or in the same point, right? And this will make sure that it doesn't cross, right? So now what we have to do is we have to calculate the temporary difference. So the temporary difference is going to be ARR of trailer minus ARR of starter, right? So this is going to be the temporary difference. And now once we calculate the temporary difference, we say if temporary difference, as we saw initially, it will be equals to 0, but if temporary difference is greater than equal to 0, okay, if it is equal to 0, then we move the greatest element, which is trailer in this case. So we say trailer plus plus, okay. If it comes out to be negative, which is say in this case, if it is less than equals to 0, then what we do starter plus plus, okay. Now it will run again and it will calculate again. Here it will be equal to 0, so this trailer plus plus will happen, And now in this case what will happen, we'll see that 5 minus 4 is 5 minus 1 is 4, so temporary difference will be greater than equal to 0. But in this case what will happen is, we will see if this temporary difference is greater than the greatest difference, right? So if temp diff is greater than max diff, then we'll do max diff is equals to temp diff, right? So we'll do 5 minus 1, which is 4. So we will store 4 here in the max diff, right? And then we will proceed again. Okay, so now the temporary difference was 4, and now temp difference is also 4, and then we move again. So we do, it comes here. Okay, so with this it comes here in the 3, right? And then it calculates the temp difference again, which is 2. Okay, but it will not go here because temp difference is 2 and max difference is 4, so it will keep on going. Finally this loop will go when trailer reaches here, and it will end. Okay, so we should return max diff. Okay, it is giving error because we have to do int. Okay, now let's run this. So we have test arr1, and we do put this one, and let's see what would be the answer. So system.out.println, and we say test arr1. So answer is 5, which is correct because 1 and 6 is 5, right? And let's take another example that they have in lead code, which is example number 2. So in this case the output needs to be 0 because there is no such element. So let's take another, let's give it test array 2, and let's give it like this, and let's see if it returns something. Okay, so the answer is 0. So this is how we will do it. Very simple program. And second question from blind 75. Let's see what is the space and time complexity for this. So time complexity for this would be O of n. Why? Because we are just moving to the array one element and the another, and we are trying to find the difference, right? And space complexity, we did not use any space in this, so it will be 1. Okay, the only thing that we have is data, but from a functional perspective we are not using any extra space in this, right? So that's it for now. Thank you so much